here we have the introduction, the 3 main points. Here we have a dip in the middle of the presentation. Always happens. Because people's attention in the middle, they go a little bit sleepy, so something to do to wake them up, bit of interaction. Okay? Even in 4-minute presentation, you can get interaction. In 20 minutes, definitely. How to do interaction, or ways to do interaction. Ask a question, and look for an answer. Now, be careful. Why do I say be careful? I've had a lot of, I've helped a lot of students who've had a problem, and they didn't know they had a problem, but they had a problem with this. They ask a question, someone gives them an answer that they don't like, or that they weren't expecting, and they kind of go, and they just continue on. If you ask a question, and you look for an answer, you have to accept any answer. You've given me some really weird answers today. But I have to accept them. I have to accept them. If I ask you,
you did great.
I cannot disregard any answer if I ask the question. Okay? So, that means questions at the end, of course. But you can have questions in the middle. There's nothing wrong with questions in the middle. Here's something. Remember what I said with the video? Discuss with the person beside you the good points about the video. Remember that from this morning? Do that in the presentation. In the middle of your presentation, say, you've been speaking about networking and a solution for a networking problem. Okay, I want to give you a minute. Could you speak with the person beside you for 2 minutes about whether this networking solution could work in your company? And give them 2 minutes. Why do you look at me like that?
This cannot happen in 20 minutes. This cannot happen in a workshop, right? You cannot give exercises to people when you're giving a talk.
In 20 minutes is a lot of time.
20 minutes.
There was a guy.
I've never seen that.
Kohavi, Microsoft Research.
Giving a.
No, he gave 1 hour. All the audience stand up, and then he made an exercise. But you have to establish authority, because if you are a student and you say, and now, professor.
It's provocative. It's a nice idea. We'll try it.
Well, let me explain the reason behind this. The reason behind this, there are various reasons, and maybe
Pablo did this thing. Pablo asked the people, what do you have in your pocket, and so on.
And who trained Pablo?
That was you,
well, let me tell you the reasons. Behind this. Okay. The first reason is you need to check. You're listening to me, and you've been listening to me now for 40 minutes. You need to give people a rest from your voice. I know I have a lovely voice. I know you love listening to me, but I let you watch some videos. You speak with each other. You need to give people a break. That's the first thing. The second thing is, and this is really interesting, they did a survey of, this was in academics, university professors, and they asked them about conferences, about what they would like more of in conferences. And of course they said better presentations and more interesting presentations, but one of the top things in the list was networking. I'd like to meet people at conferences, and I don't ever meet new people. So if you, in your presentation, and you have 20 minutes at least, you say, speak with your partner about this topic for a moment, then people they start speaking to someone they don't know, and it's nice, they get the opportunity to meet somebody. You're facilitating a meeting between two people that don't know each other. It can be nice. And then of course afterwards, you can say, so, the third advantage of this exercise is, if you ask a question to the audience, often people will be nervous about answering you, particularly if English isn't their first language. So what you do is, you give them the question, please discuss it with your partner for a moment. When people have discussed it with the person beside them, they feel more confident about answering you. So you give them a minute to discuss it with their partner, and then you say, so any ideas? And people feel more confident because they've had a go at practicing their answer.
And again, you have to be prepared for all kinds of answers.
You have to be prepared for all kinds of answers. So you need to really think about that question. Yeah.
We're going to create some chaos with these things. Whatever happens, you're responsible. I
tell you, if it's done in a controlled way and you have a target, it works. It can really work. The next thing is a quick survey. How many of you have studied in the US? Hands up. Yeah. Again, the reason for that question in the questionnaire, I asked you that in the questionnaire, was in the US, students receive training in presentations from very early in their careers, and here not. So, in your presentation, quick survey, and you ask a question, and people feel they're involved, creates a bit of energy. You can have a mini question and answer session.
But the quick survey, people have been using this too much and it's a little bit. It's a little bit a standard trick. I mean, you know, it's like we're putting your kids on the presentation to engage people. It's my baby.
Yeah, but
the success of this, I think, is depends on how successful you were in attracting people's attention in the very first part of the talk. Otherwise, you know,
but also, you don't do it just to do it. You do it because you want to understand. How many people have been studying in the US and you look and go, okay, that's interesting, and you respond to it. It's not like raise your hand if you had coffee this morning just to make it.
Use moderation.
Mini question and answer session. There's no rule in the book that says question and answers only at the end. If you have a long presentation that's 40 minutes, do questions and answers in the middle, so that you know people are following you, everything's clear. Nothing wrong with that. Another thing you can do is just change the flow of information. Changing the flow of information means now the information is coming from me. Watch and listen to media. As I said, you watch the video, read something. Touch something. Touch something is like, if you have a product. Let me see your hand. If you have a... If you've developed a product or something, or you have samples, then you can pass them around for them to touch.
This is like Steve Jobs, late Steve Jobs kind of was touching the thing all the time.
Yeah, yeah. But he didn't pass it around. I'm not saying you touch it, I'm saying the audience touches it. Okay, so that's interaction. Okay? Interaction is really, really important to keep the audience with you and to keep them, if you've lost anybody, to get them back on track with you. If you use interaction in your presentation, it'll keep people watching you all the time because they're going to be afraid. When's he going to ask me a question, or what's he going to do next? Okay?
Brian,